Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. In this video, I want to share with you a very huge misconception that a lot of people have. They think that what worked last season, copy pasta the exact same meta, crafting over, and it will work just as well. This is actually incorrect, and that's why we are here to help you every single patch as well. This method of crafting, of using white items over here, collecting a lot of them, and then slamming in essences, whatever your preference is, whether it's battle, whether it's torment, or whether it's speed, lightning, whatever it is, this method is actually very, very inefficient in the current patch because of market inefficiencies that I want to share with you that you can exploit as well for those of you who have this information. So the current way that a lot of people are doing that I see is a huge mistake is they are taking, for example, let's talk about these 3 crossbows over here. Exactly white crossbows. What they're going to be doing is they're taking Essence of Torment. They're going to be like, for example, slamming it into these two and praying and hoping that they get a really, really high roll in like tier 1, tier 2 or something like that. Then they will take an Orb of Augmentation, pray that the second line is also really good, and then they will slam and add greater Essence of Torment if the first 2 lines are pretty decent, and then they will move from there. This is actually super, super inefficient in the current patch, and there is a much more efficient method. Let's talk about why, and I will tell you what you can do with your bases because they are still very profitable for people that don't know this method and they don't follow this channel as well. So if you look at, this is craft on Exile website. If we do the method of slamming in, this is spears. So for example, we are trying to craft really, really high lines of physical damage percentage, or you can even select like accuracy. It's also really, really tough. These numbers are all really, really small. Even if you slam a battle or you slam a physical torment inside, you have a chance of getting leech physical damage as life, grant life per hit, and a lot of other rubbish that you can actually be getting instead of sniping these very, very high tier lines. So because of this very low outcome, let's just take the rate, for example, let's just assume it's 2% chance, which is really, really very high. In order to slam a top tier roll with Essence of Torment, 2% chance means you're going to need 50, and it's of course a lot less than 2% to get the highest tier roll as well. Let's say it's 50 spears. Each one costs 5 exalted. That is almost 3 divines already, just simply trying to find one line with the max roll of physical percentage or accuracy rating. If you are doing this method and the market hasn't moved yet, it's very, very inefficient. You're wasting a lot of money, especially if you're trying to get the best rolls available. But of course, there comes a part 2. There is a cheaper way, a lot cheaper way to actually do this. And this is also how I've gotten my God tier crossbow with triple max line in the prefix, my other crossbow with like 1k plus DPS, as well as my boots with almost everything max roll. And this is just a couple of days into the league. Today's like day 14, 15 or something, 2 weeks in. So the more efficient method, because in Path of Exile is about how do you turn the odds to your favor, and turning the odds to our favor is actually reducing overall costs. So now that you know, taking these white bases, slamming them, and then praying that you get a really good roll, this is last patch method, super inefficient. Please stop doing this. Go and sell these spears to someone else at 5 exalted each, or these level 82 crossbows and stuff, the white ones, to people that don't know, they're just still using the old method. That way you can get a lot more money and use the tip number 2 that we have. This is going to be the much more efficient method of doing things that I want you to know. And that is recombinations and fracturing. So using the new tips that we have, it will shortcut everything, but it's not so simple, not so straightforward. There are some things that I use and I look out for, and I'm going to be showing you an example. So let me just put these junk crossbows over here for a while. When you are crafting, so for example, this crossbow over here that I personally have, what I look for is, and this is a secret that I will share with you, my strategy as well. I will look for level 82 or whatever highest tier that you're looking for. I will look for a max line. Don't care about anything else. I just want one of the hardest lines, which to me, in terms of efficiency, you should start off with physical damage if you're going for a mirror tier, because this is item level 77. But to me, to maximize economic gain, physical damage percentage, max roll is the most efficient one to start off with. So what I will do is I will go to the trade site, find any junk crossbows with this particular line. I will search for hours and hours for the end mirror tier kind of gear. Once I find it, I will pay 1 divine for it, which is a lot cheaper than trying to find the line myself and praying that it hits a good one. 1 divine is considered very cheap if you're trying to find a max line, because you need like 50 plus crossbows just to get this one line, and you might not even get it. This excludes the cost of the Essence of Torment as well. So I buy like 4 of them, and then I try to fracture this line. So once I fracture this line, and then I'll slowly work my way up and try to get better lines and better lines. It gradually costs more, but this way you guarantee yourself more or less for under 30 divines, you can get 2 max line rolls most of the time on average, which is really very cheap for a double max line roll. The third line and thereafter becomes a lot more expensive, but we are not going there. We're just making sure we have good craftable, usable gear. So this will shortcut a lot already. And even better, this method, if you are not caring about max roll, you're looking for something like this, which is a very fantastic crossbow as well. For those of you who are in the crossbow market, this is a almost 1.1k physical DPS crossbow, which is very expensive. Second highest physical damage, second highest physical attack, mid-roll in physical damage and accuracy rating with good suffixes. This goes for easily 50 plus divines right now in 2 weeks into the league. This is very easy to craft, super easy, and I'm going to teach you exactly how you do that using these methods. So what I would do is, as you are farming in the overworld, you get lots of these nonsense drop. What I like to do is create a tab or however administrative things you want to do, and store max roll line items in this tab as well. It could be max, it could be second highest, but good lines that otherwise everything else is garbage. So I'll store them here, and now I take them out here to do this video. So for example, I have 2 pretty nice cloaks over here, body armor, one with a tier 6 maximum energy shield. This is of course not the best, but I just want to do this for demonstration, which is decent enough, I guess. And then we have one here with a T11, one of the highest tiers, energy shield over here, flat. The spirit line is okay, but I just want to do for demonstration. This otherwise is pretty junky because it has a T1, so here it's more or less stuck with this low roll into hybrid energy shield, flat and percentage. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be deploying the new recombination strategy, and you can apply this to rings as well, which I'll show you in a bit. Then you will go into this machine here. It's super cheap. This will probably cost you like 1-2 exalted in the market, finding a max roll or second highest roll if you are just looking for decent gear. So you slap this in. If I'm taking this line over here, this tier 11, and I'm taking this line, my chances are 18%. If you think about the math, if you are trying to find a double or close to double max roll line item using the crafting basis method, it's freaking inefficient just to do this. It's so inefficient to just start from essences and white bases. Rather, let other people take the risk. Other people have found the drops for monsters, buy it from them and shortcut that whole process. Save yourself many divines, lowering your downside by an insane amount. So even if I didn't want this max line, if I just wanted spirit, it goes all the way up to 27.77% chance of success, which means you just need to do this 5 times. These 2 items probably I would even sell for 2 exalted, 3 exalted, meaning that the cost of them, if you multiply this by 6 on average is when you should get it, it's going to be less than the divines to get a 11 as well as a 6, and you can still continue to craft. Of course, it works better with weapons, the ones that are higher value, but you can see how good this is. If you have like a +5 chaos wand, you can do the exact same method too. So of course, more often than not, you're going to fail. I'm going to go click the button, but thankfully GGG wants the video to be much more presentable. So this is an example of a success. So 18% chance now for less than 10 exalted or so, you are able to get this. And that is why the prices of artifacts are so expensive, because the people who know this strategy are exploiting it, are using it a lot. And this way, we just got a tier 11, tier 6 armor, and I can probably already just like put this on the market, whatever price it is, or continue crafting it myself. Very, very efficient. This is how you can get very strong gear, very endgame gear for a super low price, or even keep flipping. This league is way easier to make money than the previous league because of the lack of people who know this secret method of cutting, increasing the probabilities, versus the people who only know the first league method. They don't keep up to date on channels like this one, where we teach you economic value and the newest, most efficient method and how you come ahead of competition. So that is the one example. A next example here is 2 breed rings. You can do this exactly the same. It's not the ideal, but I want to show you that the odds are very high if you're not looking for mirror tier max line rolls. If you're looking for decent gear to get started, maybe you're an SSF player and stuff like that, this method works very well too. So I have here a third highest roll in physical damage is not anything amazing, T7. And I have here a high roll in elemental resistance. I believe it's the max roll for elemental resistances. So the other lines don't look too enticing right now. T2 in fire damage with attacks, fire resistance here, and I have evasion rating of tier 6. So I can come into the recombination here and put them both together, and it will turn out to be a really nice ring that you can even sell already. Because otherwise, these two probably won't fetch you much. It will take very long to sell. But if I click one here, for example, physical damage with attacks, I click here elemental resistances, because it's not a tier 9, not the highest tier, the probability of having a success is very, very high. And because people are looking for high rolls, max tier, you can actually get a really good, you can get these like really, really cheap, because it's not a high tier, there's a lot of junk lines. This probably costs you maybe less than 1 exile, 2 exile. If you search it out on trade site, buy 2 stuff like this, level 82, and then boom, recombine. Of course, they don't allow you to succeed twice, if not, it's not a fair representation. More often than not, you fail, but if you keep doing this strategy, you will eventually have items that you are looking for. For example, you have very, very nice lines, good lines that you have. For example, like my bridge ring over here, I use the exact same method to craft, super efficient. People are doing this method and it's very, very cheap. Now, of course, it doesn't come with everything is going to work this method. There is a catch. There is a last section here when this is not efficient. The truth is, if you are chasing, the two differences lie in the 2 crossbows that I first showed you. If you are chasing for this crossbow over here, the method that I have said in this video works really extremely well if you're just finding a high-end, not the mirror tier level, high-end crossbows. This is the most efficient method that I've taught you today to actually get it. Plus fracturing. If you haven't seen our video on recombinations and crafting gear, check it out on the channel as well. I teach you how I got this crossbow here. But where it falls apart, where this strategy falls apart, is if you are trying to craft something like this here. This is an extremely hard to craft crossbow because this first line is maximum roll, second line is maximum roll. If you try to combine them both together, your odds of success are very, very low to put them together. And it's actually very inefficient to try to use this recombination method for 2 double max tier rolls. There is a much more efficient method, but that is outside the scope of this video because it's going to be very inaccessible, only probably to the top 1% who can afford it, which I want to wait for a while before I teach you guys, as more and more of you get more resources into the game, since it's like only week 2. So to get a triple max roll like this, the method that I taught you doesn't work. Recombination falls apart in like mirror tier item strategies. There is a more efficient method in this patch itself. I'll share with you again in another video, but just note, if you are going for something like this, not the highest tier roll, a decent above average, this is how you should do it. Please don't craft bases, sell your bases to people that don't know yet. And once the prices drop on those bases, then maybe we will start to see a change, or the prices of the recombination inputs become much more expensive. But anyways, stay tuned to the channel. I'll keep you updated, not just this league, every league to come, anything new, I will be sharing with you the most efficient way. That's this channel's focus. We are economy, making money channel, and see you guys in one of these 2 next videos.